Hello, everyone. This is KJ, and welcome to the Kenny Wilson podcast, where we will get to know more about the behind the scenes, the updates, the tidbits, and everything about Mr. Kenny Wilson's journey to changing the world, one story at a time. This segment intends to show our new audiences who he is, what he's trying to do, and how he can be relevant to you and your family. So, enjoy! Hi, Ken. Good evening. How are you today?
Hi, how are you today?
I'm great, actually. Totally excited for our interview today. So, as a recap, this will be the very first episode that we will be publishing for the Kenny Wilson podcast or series that we have. So, for everyone who does not know you yet, for everyone listening, watching us right now, can you tell us who Kenny Wilson is?
I'm just a guy from Northern Ontario who writes books and screenplays and produces films.
Yeah, right. You're a writer too.
Yeah,
Can,
yeah, I'm an author.
can you tell us about the books that you're writing? Can you give us a summary of it?
Yes, I've got a few books out now. My first one was Tommy and the Christmas Coal, which is a story about a little boy whose parents fall on hard times just before Christmas and only have enough money left to be able to buy enough coal to last until Christmas morning. And so Tommy decides to give up his Christmas gifts from Santa and tries to get on the naughty list. So that way Santa will bring him coal so he can help out his parents. And everything he does backfires and becomes a good deed. And it's a very heartwarming story. He ends up changing his whole town. There's lots of good messages hidden inside that story.
So I understand that Tommy and the Christmas Carol is, I guess, a children's book, or what genre is it?
So it is a children's book. It's available in English and French, and it's also been turned into an animated short film.
Really? Can we watch it? Where can we watch it?
Yes, you sure can. You can watch it on Eastlink Community Television if you are in their area of broadcast, or you can watch it on my YouTube channel.
For those who does not know where to find Kenny's YouTube channel, we put the link in the description below. Also, in the description, there's a link there to the Tommy and the Christmas Cole short animated film.
That's right.
Yeah, what about the other genres that you write? Are you only writing this one? By the way, I'm curious, why did you choose this genre in the first place?
So I've written primarily children's books because I'm a dad and I've got a little girl and I see the things that she struggles with. So I write stories because I know that she's not alone in her struggle. So there's one of my other book series, The Adventures of Rabbit Girl, is all about a little girl who gets fantastic superpowers. She's super strong and she's invulnerable, but she doesn't have any confidence. So, in order for her to become fully realized as the hero that she's meant to be, she has to find her confidence, which she does through the book series. And as she continues to become more and more active as the superhero, she becomes more and more confident. And the reason I wrote that book is because I wanted kids to see a hero that's just like them, that struggles with confidence and sometimes doesn't feel like they can do it, even though they have all the ability to do it.
I guess that making a difference is the reason why you wrote books like Tommy and the Christmas Cole and Rabbit Girl series, right?
Yeah, I want to make a difference through story.
Wow, that's awesome. Anyway, right now, let's try to dive deeper into the books that you have already written. Can you give us more information about them? As a-
Definitely. The first book I wrote was Tommy and the Christmas Coal, which is a story about a little boy who wants to get coal for Christmas. Mom and dad only have enough coal to heat their home till Christmas morning. So he tries to get on the naughty list. And unlike a real boy, this fictitious boy can't be bad. Everything he does becomes good. And he ends up changing his whole town and making a positive impact in his community, just trying to help out his parents. I've also wrote the Adventures of Rabbit Girl, which is a book series about a little girl who gets superpowers. She's super strong and she's invulnerable, but she doesn't believe in herself. So she has to find her confidence to become the hero she's meant to be. There's 3 books in the series right now. We have Rise of the Hero, which is where she finds her confidence. Clever Ginny, when the confidence goes the other way and now she's overconfident. She doesn't think she can use anyone's help. She finds out the value of teamwork. And then the disappearance of Coach Janet, where her and Clever Ginny go on an adventure to find out what happened to their coach, who has been troll napped. The Troll King is the 4th book. It's been written, but we haven't illustrated it yet. So it's going to be out sometime later next year. It's going to be set up in the same sizing format as the other books, but because a lot of my readers are getting older, I'm going to write it for a little bit of an older audience. So instead of it being an early grade reader comic book, which means 1 panel per page, there's going to be several panels per page, and the story is going to be a little bit more mature, dealing with battling an army of trolls coming after their town. So, and I can't tell you whether or not they're successful. It's possible the Troll King might win. The only way Rabbit Girl can win is if you buy the book. And we haven't even written it yet, so you can imagine how precarious your situation is.
Okay. But about the books and the shows that you're planning in the future, aside from the Rabbit Girl series, can you give us a little sneak peek of the books or shows that you plan to produce? I'm sure that they will be very exciting, but what can we expect from them?
Well, the very next book I'm going to release is called Mitchell and the Mountain of Mittens. It's already been written and illustrated. I'm just waiting to dot the final dot before we get ready to release it. It's all about a little boy who is very imaginative, and he loses his mitts at school. And he ends up realizing that they were stolen by a dragon. And this dragon has taken them somewhere special. So in order for him to find them, he has to go into a supply closet, and he finds a whole world inside a hole inside the supply closet that he's got to go to in order to find this dragon, battle him, and get his mittens back. I can't tell you how that one ends either, so you'll have to get the book.
Okay. So I understand from what you just said that you are teaching early grade readers life lessons in a non boring or a fun way through your content. Am I right? Correct me if I'm
Yes,
wrong.
yes, that's right. Yeah. I try not to write books where every solution is found at the end of a fist and you punch your way through whatever it is that you're facing. I think there's a place for that for sure. There's a lot of modern entertainment out there that's all about that, but I think it's good to teach kids those important things, that there's solutions besides just beating people up and that sort of thing. Going back to Mitchell and the Mountain of Mittens, I forgot to say why I wrote that. So if it's okay with you, Christine, I'm gonna
Yeah, I'm sure I would
talk
like to
about that
know
right
more
now.
about it.
Prior to COVID, I had been serving as the coordinator for the Mountain of Mittens program, which is a program put on by All Nations Church. Every year, we raise money to purchase thousands and thousands of mittens over the years that go to area schools. What happens is when your kids go to school and they lose their mittens, they aren't allowed to go outside to play for recess because it's so cold outside. We don't want anyone missing digits. So I was doing that with Pastor Jeremy Mahood, who's been one of my mentors. And before he passed away, he asked me to write a book about the Mountain of Mittens, which is what I've done. It's, of course, about an imaginative young boy who goes after a dragon who stole his mittens and ends up bringing back his mittens at the end of this amazing adventure that he goes on. But at its core, it's a story about schools needing mittens so that way the kids can go outside to play. So if you're interested in setting something like this up in your area, for sure, feel free to contact either me or All Nations Church. I'm sure they'd be more than happy to give you some tips about what we've done here in order to be able to make that a successful program.
Wow, that's awesome. So, for those who want to know what's next for Kenny Wilson, aside from the books that you have been doing, what's gonna be next?
Well, a little birdie has told me that starting in January, we're going to be producing our first television series. I'm not 100% sure where it's going to be seen. For sure, it's going to be on Eastlink Community Television. So if you're in their broadcast zone, you'll definitely be able to see it there. We're just kind of waiting to figure out how we're going to be able to put that on the internet. So that way it's available for people outside of Canada, because Eastlink Community Television has the rights for it in Canada. So that's something that we're going to have to stay tuned in. But if everything goes according to plan, this television series will be released next fall of 2023. We also will be working on Dog McCracket, who is a new character. He is a dog who is a reformed bank robber who's become a police officer, and he goes on all sorts of adventures. So you'll have to stay tuned for that. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to write that for children or if I'm going to write that for teenagers. I imagine because of the nature of his background, it'll probably be for teenagers. We don't want little kids learning about bank robbers and wanting to go out and rob a bank in order to make their lives better. That doesn't work anyways. No one's successful at doing that.
Those are quite the stories even I will be interested in knowing. And I would really like to know more about them. So if anyone like me is interested in following you and knowing more about what you do, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram, if I can figure out how to make it work, TikTok, YouTube, and of course on my website, kennywilson.ca, the premier destination for all things Kenny Wilson.
Kenny, in what ways can an avid fan like me support you and your journey or advocacies in life?
There are so many ways that you can support me. The important thing that I want to point out, though, is that I am not alone. I have a team of people that help me accomplish these goals and these stories that I'm trying to tell, such as Christine, the wonderful lady who's interviewing me right now, and Jane, another wonderful lady who's also my production assistant. So the most important way that you can support me, it could be buy a book, buy some products that we have on our website based on our brands or our characters, or you can go to Patreon, support us there. And coming soon, we're going to have our own version of Patreon right on kennywilson.ca, where you can donate money on a regular basis and help us be able to continue what we're doing. So our job is to bring value to you. And if you find that we're bringing value to you, then please help us continue to do that so we continue to provide value to the people who matter most, and that's our fans.
So that's it for today's episode. It was really fun for me. Hopefully, it is also for everyone watching us right now or will watch the replay later. Looking forward to more episodes like this in the future. Thank you so much, everyone. But before we end, Ken, do you have any more words for your fans and your future followers before we let them go?
So for my fans, you'll see right now, I'm sitting in front of a world, and that's because out there right now, there's someone who wants to read one of my books, who needs to hear one of my stories, to find inspiration, to be able to make a difference in their life. And when I see everyone in that globe, I think about what a special privilege it is to be able to write stories and be able to communicate with all of you. And I want to thank each and every person who's taken the time to view this or who's read one of my books or supported me in one way or the other, for your attention and for your appreciation. It means everything. Thank you.